Welcome everyone to our usual WWE pay-per-view predictions video. This time for the annual Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which I consider the unofficial fifth major in the WWE. And considering that we are 1 month away from a brand split, this will be the last pay-per-view before the inevitable nuclear bomb that will probably annihilate the WWE and the dust begins. But it's not to say that Money in the Bank isn't interesting, because it's got one of the most interesting cards, well, at least on the main event level, that the WWE has put on in quite some time. So, with that said, here are my predictions in match order, I hope. As for the pre-show matches, there are two. The first being Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day. These two have gone at it for a combined 6 times now, 5 of which have been on pay-per-view. This feud is staler than bread, staler than rotten Pop Tarts, and staler than anything that Roman Reigns says out of his mouth. But we'll get to him later. As for this robbery, Baron Corbin needs to win it and end it right now. And please, for the love of God, let this be the end. Baron Corbin wins. I'm just going to leave it short and sweet at that. The second match, however, has more of a brand new storyline to it. Apollo Crews, the NXT call-up with great wrestling talent and size, taking on, well, Sheamus. Sheamus has been out shooting the second Ninja Turtles movie, Out of the Shadows, as Bebop, of the crew of Bebop and Rocksteady. But now he's back in the ring, being a mid-carder, like he should be. Not as glorified as he was when he was the champ, but now he's got something against the quote-unquote new era guys. He doesn't want anybody taking his spot, and Apollo Crews is showing no fear. This could be a showcase match for Crews to really get some push by the fans and by the guys in the back, seeing that being up minor scrubs and not being featured well on TV is becoming much of a problem for Crews, who was a quick and fast and loved standout in NXT. This could be his coming out party, and I somehow want it to be, but something tells me Sheamus is going to get the dupe here. As much as I don't like Sheamus, I could see the much more polished and slightly bigger Sheamus carrying the win, carrying on his new era bully persona. He needs a big pay-per-view win against one of these new guys for that to cement. And I think they're going to give him a win here. Although, the hopeful side for me is they choose the new era stalwart to prove that the WWE is truly moving forward. But when the main show actually begins, the Divas are relegated to the back. How back? The first one it looks out, as Becky Lynch and Natalya tag team against the team of the women's champion, Charlotte, and Dana Brooke. These two have grown into a heel partnership of sorts, but Dana lately has had trouble carrying her own weight, and it's getting on Charlotte's nerves. And seeing how brutally and coldly she kicked her father to the curb, Dana better watch her P's and Q's. 'cause Dana might be next. It's not to say that Dana Brooke isn't talented, though. She's very talented, and is a physical force. She's very imposing for a bodybuilder slash gymnast. And if given a chance to shine, she could really showcase that. But it's really about her buffering Charlotte, which is a very sad thing. On the other side, with Natalya and Becky, to be honest, as a wrestling fan, I have lost interest in these two, especially Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was always the third wheel in the Sasha Banks Charlotte Becky triangle over the championship going into WrestleMania, and that hasn't really changed in the months since then. She just feels like a glorified big player. She's not really going to be given the title anytime soon. She's just there to fill space, and so is Natalya. This is a buy time for the big one match, and seeing that the title isn't really on the line, there isn't really any reason to watch these four women wrestle outside of the fact that this could be a physical showcase for them. But I see Charlotte and Dana Brooke picking up the match and keeping Charlotte's heel momentum. Hopefully they'll pull the trigger on the rivalry that everybody wants after this. Because God, it's getting old fast. But something that isn't getting old is a new challenger for the new brutal Rusev. And he's been on a tear as of late, ripping and tearing and bending his opponents to the will ever since regaining the United States Championship. He basically bent Carlisto like a pretzel last month, and he's looking to do the same to Titus O'Neil, who's back off of his unwarranted, to say the least, suspension. He's getting a shot at the United States Championship. And yes, he's playing the I'm an American card to get this title shot, which always seems to be the thing with Rusev. Why can't they just trust that he's a strong enough champion? You don't have to bring up all the international stuff to make that happen. But hey, it's not like Titus O'Neil is actually gonna win the thing. I'm going Rusev here. Rusev and Titus O'Neil will have a genuine good back and forth, but at the end of the day, the Bulgarian Brute will retain his United States Championship unchecked. Possibly to run into somebody like John Cena, perhaps, wink wink. Well, we'll get into what he's doing here in a second. Next up is one of the most exciting matches of the night. A fatal four-way matchup between the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Cass, the Bullet Club. Yes, that's Luke Gallows and Kyle Anderson for you. And of course, our always dependable tag team champions, The New Day. This is for the belts. Yeah, you could make many scenarios for the titles to switch. The Vaudevillains, proving to be slightly good heels, could become even bigger heels with the win. And yes, combined with the AJ Styles victory later in the night, Luke Gallows and Anderson win could cement the club as a legitimate hardcore threat. And of course, if they want to give the tag team titles to another face team and have them go completely nuclear in their love, and Enzo and Cass win could catapult them to massively over status. So, there's a lot of reason to change the belts here. But then again, we are talking about the New Day, who have been in this situation before and come out on top. they're about to break records, guys. They've had the titles for over 300 days, and they've taken out just about anybody. I could make a case for either one of the teams to win the titles. And practically, that's what makes this match fun. In any way that this match goes, it will remain interesting and compelling. If the New Day are going to lose the titles tonight, I think the best options would be either the Club or Enzo and Cass. That's if they lose the titles, which leads to my prediction that they won't. The New Day will overcome all odds and find a way to once again retain the titles. By the way, they don't have to break the WWE long-term title record. All they have to do is make it to SummerSlam, and the record is theirs. That means another month and a half, and they'll be the longest reigning champions of all time. Then you can snatch the titles from them. Although there'll be some of us internet guys that will look at that record as non-legit because of 3 rather than 2. But with the draft upcoming, the tag team could be split, which could lead to a loss of the titles tonight. It just depends on a whole lot of other things. But I've rooted against the New Day before and come out losing. I'm not gonna do it tonight. New Day rocks, New Day wins. But now it's on to 2 of the 2 main events. And I'm not counting the championship in this one. And I'll explain why. The first being the ever infamous Money in the Bank ladder match. Or as I like to call it, the golden ticket. Because whoever wins this, y'all might as well crown them champ. It might not be tonight, although it could be. But it's inevitable. It's got a 95% success rate. Only 2 have ever failed to take the golden ticket and walk out with the strap. The 6 going for it this year are a very talented and eclectic group. For the new era guys, you have Sami Zayn, Cesaro, who are loved by all, and Kevin Owens, WWE's #1 heel. And trust me, he's earned that ability to call himself that. On the other side, for your veteran players, you have Chris Jericho and Alberto Del Rio. One guy that has never won the championship, and another guy that's tasted the glory of the case and tasted the glory of the win. And then you have Dean Ambrose. Here's the thing about this match, and I'm going to get personal here. I think this match is a setup for a one-off, one-shot, one opportunity match. A match that, if you go back to my videos last year, the WWE was talking about, which was the idea of a Shield triple threat. That would be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. To have the 3 members of the Shield battling over a belt. And the Money in the Bank gives them the opportunity to create this nightmare scenario. Why? Because none of the 3 are truly over or have truly earned their spots. Seth Rollins is just coming back from an injury, and he's probably going to have to go without the authority to get the title back, which many people looked at him as lazy and cowardly. Roman Reigns, well, you don't have to hear from me about the hate for Roman Reigns, even though I've spat plenty of bile in his direction. And a Dean Ambrose win here would almost contradict the major losses that Dean Ambrose has taken over the last year, including that embarrassing loss to Brock Lesnar at 32. It would almost nullify it completely, which is pointless. It was a Mania match. Have the Mania match stick. So, when it comes to Money in the Bank, there are three things you must talk about. Who's out, who you want to win, and who will. Who's out? Well, everybody not named Kevin Owens or Dean Ambrose. If you're not one of these two, you essentially have no shot. Who do I want to win? Kevin Owens. Because he's the best heel in the damn company. Him running around with the case would be entertaining as hell with his ability to promo. And the fact that he would tell the world about it, and even the title holder, and give him no such warning to win. It would be a great, interesting long-term solution and really cap off Kevin Owens' excellent first year on the main roster. Hell, he's beaten almost everybody. However, my gut is they're going to go with this nightmare scenario of the triple threat, which is a horrible idea. Just to give somebody essentially a golden ticket to set off what would be one match that doesn't generate that much interest to begin with. It doesn't make any sense, but I swear to you, especially coming off that Ambrose Asylum on SmackDown, that's the direction they're going, and it angers me and pisses me off. This is one prediction I hope to God I am incorrect on. But if I am correct on it, well, you're about to find out what will happen if I am. But the next matchup is the true main event of the evening. There's not much that has to be said. It's John Cena versus AJ Styles, a virtual dream match for guys in the internet wrestling community or wrestling lifers like myself. But for those that don't understand why this match is so special to so many people, let me set the stage. AJ Styles has pretty much been everywhere. He's won world championships in every organization he's been in, a multiple-time TNA champion, not only on the world title level, but practically everywhere else. AJ Styles, for a good majority of 10 or 11 years, was the face and most talented person on the Total Nonstop Action roster, even forming an alliance with Ric Flair, leading to the group known as Fortune. AJ Styles was pretty much how you identified TNA, even through its better times and its worst times, and even as it was first coming up. AJ Styles was one of the first names you saw and appreciated. On the other side, of course, you have John Cena, returning to the ring from injury and being the host of American Grit. John Cena has done everything on the major wrestling level you could do, except break Ric Flair's hollowed 16 World Championship record, which is really the only reason he's even still here, because I have a feeling he is going to match and or break the record very soon, maybe matching it this year. But he represents the biggest WWE hurdle. To some WWE fans, you've done nothing, even if you've done everything everywhere else, until you have done it here. And AJ Styles hasn't proven himself here. In fact, every big match he's been in, he's lost, losing to Chris Jericho at Mania, and even losing his 2 title shots against Roman Reigns. Every time he's been in the big spotlight, he's been unable to, pardon the pun, cash in with a victory. But John Cena is the biggest hurdle he's faced yet, probably ever. And for many WWE fans, this is the ultimate witness test. If AJ Styles fails to win here, at Money in the Bank, for many WWE fans, it's a straight up burial. For those not in the wrestling know, a burial is what happens when a superstar of higher stature in the locker room takes a lower stature superstar or somebody on the come up and brings them all the way down so bad it almost feels like their career ever happened. Think Wade Barrett and the Nexus for the fine example. The last time that John Cena brought out the golden shovel of doom. And for many AJ Styles fans, this would be what a Cena win would generate. But an AJ Styles win would generate the catapult needed to maybe bolster him into a main event spot when the brand extension happens. So much drama, and yet there's a match still to talk about. Personally, my heart is torn. I am a Cena fan, and I would love Cena to get a first win back since he's been gone. But seeing that it's at the expense of a monumental talent like AJ Styles, it's kind of too hard to bear. So that's why this prediction has been so difficult. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping, without the club's interference, which still may happen, that AJ Styles pulls out the victory here clean. He needs a big win, and there's nothing bigger. And seeing that there might be a set of 2 or 3 of these, let the newbie build his reputation with a win. And then last but not least, we come to the main event of the evening, or as I like to refer to it, the Roman Reigns carry hour, as Roman Reigns once again has to be carried in the defense of his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This time against a guy that never lost it, Seth Rollins, returning after a long, painful 7-month injury stretch. For Roman Reigns, for many people, this is, much like the Cena match, a witness test. If Roman Reigns can beat Seth Rollins clean, then it will make him feel like the true champion. If he can't, the entire title reign has been wasted. And of course, these two, have massive history because of the Shield. And because these two were supposed to wrestle for the title all the way back in November, but because of Seth Rollins' injury, that never happened. In fact, this one-on-one tussle has been done off and on for about a year and a half. So the fact that it's finally up now with as poor build-up as the match has gotten is almost a shame. Add to that the fact that if Dean Ambrose wins, this could easily become the nightmarish triple threat between the Shield members, which there's practically no heat for. That's why a Dean Ambrose win from me earlier was such a terrifying prospect, because they may not wait until SummerSlam or any time else to do it. They may do it now, which will turn an already boring, uninteresting match into something that people don't want to see because it's remindance of what should be the Shield back together. That's when all three of them worked at their absolute best. And a triple threat against them would only hurt their own individual reps. Nobody wins here. Barring the triple threat actually being done, I don't see Seth Rollins actually walking away with the title. This could be the catapult for his face turn finally at last because he's acting super heelish. So, unfortunately, barring the triple threat situation, I have to give Roman Reigns the victory here. With the triple threat situation, anything could happen. But I could also see Dean Ambrose being like a thief in the night as usual and doing what all Money in the Bank winners do, cashing in and winning. So those are my predictions for tonight's Money in the Bank. A warning to certain YouTubers. If you have an Xbox One, the play from the beginning function doesn't work for the WWE Network at the time being. Trust me, I got an email about it. So if you plan to play it on your Xbox One, know that there's no going back until it's fixed. Just make sure to be there on time so that you too can enjoy the show. If you want more predictions like this, hit the like button and tell me who you think will be the victors in tonight's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Until next time, find peace in your own nirvana. Thanks for watching.